Hang on. Hi, this is a Google Hangouts Live with Miss Ashley Dulin-Smith, the environmental science teacher from Dublin-Jerome High School. And her students are going to be presenting their legacy project about tower gardens. So I'm going to let Ashley take it away. We also have Lindsay Manzo from Westerville City Schools and Allison Neubauer from Illinois Indiana Sea Grant joining the call. I'm Angela Green from Ohio Sea Grant. So Ms. Dulin-Smith, take it away.
All right, I think we should be okay. We're going to start this again. Are we still good? Can you hear us?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking to you about tower gardens. A tower garden is a vertical aeroponic device used to grow plants. It's 62 inches tall and 32 inches wide, using 90% less space, and it's taller with extensions and dollies which you can buy separately. It allows for plants that usually grow outside to grow indoors. It also allows for plants to grow 3 times faster, 30% more plants, and use 98% less water. It also allows you to grow up to 20 vegetables, 28 with the extensions that you can also buy. Herbs, fruits, and flowers. No need for soil digging, weeding, or ground pests.
So these are images of what a tower garden looks like on week 1, 2, and 3. And you can see how much vegetables, herbs, and fruits have grown throughout these 3 weeks. How it works. The plants grow in a soilless medium called rock wool. Add nutrient solution in the reservoir where it's stored, and then the solution cascades down the tower garden, nourishing the plants. In a few weeks, plants are ready to harvest. And then here's a little video explaining how it works.
Tower Garden's state-of-the-art aeroponic vertical garden system uses both water and air to produce more colorful, better-tasting, and incredibly nutritious fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Tower Garden has a 20-gallon reservoir at its base that stores the Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Developed by experts in plant and human nutrition, Tower Tonic Mineral Blend enables superior plant growth and better nutrition from your Tower Garden produce. The process begins once the seedlings have been placed in your tower garden. Here they will be nourished with Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Inside the reservoir is a small, low-wattage submersible pump. The pump pushes the nutrient solution up through the tower to the top. From there, the nutrient solution drips through the central tower using a special device that evenly cascades the solution over the exposed plant roots. On the journey down the tower, the nutrient solution feeds the roots and becomes highly oxygenated as it cascades gently down the reservoir. This process is continuous, providing fresh oxygen, water, and nutrients to the roots of the plants. This patented aeroponic process enables food crops to grow faster than they would in soil, so they can be harvested more often. And it makes Tower Garden a healthier, easier, smarter way to grow your produce.
There are many benefits that having a tower garden. You can grow plants that are normally out of season, such as strawberries in the winter, and you can grow plants indoors. And the package includes a curriculum that can go along with the process of the tower garden that Mrs. Dulin-Smith and other environmental science teachers can use in their classes. And studies show that people eat what they grow, and if healthier options are close by, people will eat healthier. Most food and grocery stores were grown with herbicides and pesticides, and they have been harvested before peak ripeness. And the tower garden reduces risk of pests and plant disease, and requires only 10% of space and 2% of traditional water and grows 30% faster.
So obviously you can grow a lot of different types of food with the tower garden, such as broccoli, cucumbers, all different types of lettuce, peas, peppers, spinach, and obviously a lot more than just those.
Some materials needed and line extras. Inside the package we would purchase, it include the tower gardens growing system with 3 tower gardens, a starter supply of tower garden mineral blend, a pH test kit, and a seedling starter kit for 20 plants. It also includes a support cage, which will provide support for the tomatoes, cucumbers, watermelons, and other plants. And tower garden grow lights, which will help the plants grow. The mineral blend has 1 gallon of each A and B, and mineral blend has nitrogen, calcium, and iron, and mineral blend B has phosphate, soluble potash, magnesium, sulfur, boron, manganese, and molybdenum. And it comes with 98 Rockwell cubes to start your own seedlings. And it comes with 30 net pots to support your tower garden plants. It comes with an extension kit that allows 2 or more levels to the top of the tower garden and allows space for 8 more plants. And additional net pots and Rockwell are included. And it has a specially designed industrial strength dolly used for easily moving your tower garden.
Goals and why we are doing it. It's a hands-on learning about gardening and sustainability. Grow organic fruit, herbs, and other food, and then also encourages healthy eating and lifestyle choices for us and our peers.
It can also help people learn how to prepare food by using our fresh produce and eating it. And one can garden throughout the year, avoiding Ohio weather. And our high school, Jerome, will be a pioneer in this region of Central Ohio to implement this state-of-the-art technology and become the flagship of this movement in Columbus.
What we will do with the food, we'll try and sell some of what we grow to restaurants. We'll offer food to others, like teachers would love to have some of the fresh food we grow. And this class takes place during our 5th period, which is our lunch period. And we have an idea of setting up a fresh food stand to offer students samples of our vegetables. And in one of Mrs. Dulin-Smith's conventions she went to, she learned it takes a person 10 times to try a food until they realize they actually like it. And in doing this, the students not in environmental science will get more involved with the project and trying new food. Maintenance and things to think about. You need 20 gallons of water in the drum of the tower with appropriate amounts of tonic blends. Growing indoors lights on for about 14 to 16 hours and pump runs 15 minutes each hour. We have to keep a log of plant growth, pH levels, and water levels to ensure healthy growth and adjust the pH levels when they're not around 6. We have to trim the plants to regulate the growth, hand pollinate fruiting crops such as strawberries and tomatoes, harvest them regularly, and after every growing season, we had to clean the tower with soap and water.
Right now, we have 3 locations, one in the attendance office, one in the administration office, and one in the guidance office. Now, Tower 1 is growing a variety of vegetables, different ones on each layer, including bib lettuce, gourmet lettuce, bok choy, arugula, I can't say that one ever, cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, and rainbow chard. We noticed that half the tower was growing better side-facing window. Okay, that's messed up. We noticed that the worst side was towards the window because too much sunlight was getting into the building. Well, not the building, the tower garden, and it was kind of killing some of those plants. So we had to shift the lights to the back half of the tower.
So we were curious to see if the tonic actually does play a role in the growth and success of the plants. So we came up with an experiment and in one tower we just put water with no tonic, and then in the other tower we put water and tonic as the tower garden suggests. And in the beginning, the initial growth seemed to be normal in both towers, but then as the weeks progressed, we found that the tower with the tonic was growing much better than the tower with water, and the tower with the plants in the tower with water were dying and turning brown and just did not grow as well. So for the cost of everything, including the 3 towers, the extension pack, the lights, everything included is $3,206.65, and that includes shipping. So how we paid for it. So we took part in a seed money grant challenge. And for 30 days, we emailed friends, peers, teachers, family, and asked them to support our project. And over those 30 days, with the help of over 100 donors, we raised over $11,000. And we earned an extra $400 of money because we were one of the first 50 projects to secure $600 in donations. Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. That was awesome. So if our guests will unmute themselves, we can take questions for Ms. Dulin-Smith's students. I kind of like to start the questions off and ask, maybe you said this, can you tell us what's in that tonic solution?
Hold on. We're trying to find you guys. We can hear you, but we can't see any of you.
Okay.
Let's see here. We're off sharing, right?
You are. We can see you.
There. Okay. Okay, so here are all the children.
Okay.
Here you go. So can you repeat your question? You were asking about what's in.
Yeah. What's in the tonic?
Okay. Megan, they're right there.
I'm trying to freeze the camera on just you guys.
So they're grabbing the containers to show you right now, so that they can show you exactly what they look like. So there's 2 different mineral blends. There's A and B, and so for instance, in A, there's nitrogen, calcium, iron, and then in B, there's a lot more. There's phosphate, soluble potash, magnesium, water, soluble magnesium, sulfur, boron, copper, manganese, molybdenum, and zinc. So
those just come with the tower gardens as part of the directions for doing it. And so you wondered how would things do if you didn't actually add that step in?
Yeah, because
after you needed it.
Yeah, so like once we run out of supply, we were gonna have to continue to buy them. So we wanted to see if we needed to continue to buy them, if they were an essential part of the tower garden.
Okay. All right, next question. Lindsay, do you have a question?
I do. So the water that's running through, it's all staying in the bottom bowl and it's just circulating all the way through?
Yes.
Is that correct? So I'm wondering, and I don't know if you guys have talked about harmful algal blooms and phosphorus and nitrogen. You talked about those?
We haven't gotten to all of that yet.
Okay. So I'm thinking of another investigation that you might do is to pre-treat the water with an excess of phosphorus or nitrogen. And then after you would basically do a nitrogen or a phosphate test at the beginning. So you know your concentration at the beginning. And as it's run through the system, because plants are often used plants are great remediation tools. They will actually soak up some of those extra chemicals on sort of the function of a wetland. And I'm wondering if we would actually see a reduction in the nitrogen or the phosphorus, because those are two things that plants really need to grow. We already add them on as fertilizer. So I would assume that we're going to see the plant uptake that because it needs it to grow. But I wonder too, if there's just are there other things we can add besides phosphorus or nitrogen, maybe some other heavy metals, to see what kinds of things the plants will uptake as sort of a remediation process. So it's not really a question. It was just my thought. Oh, sorry. I'm muting myself because the bells are ringing here in Westerville. Hang on.
Okay, so that was Allison. What do you got down there in your neck of the woods?
So I'm just curious. It sounds like you've already have these installed in your school. How long have you had them, and have you harvested any of the vegetables yet? And have you been able to sort of start some of your test selling it or sharing it with people in your school?
So we have started to harvest some things, mainly lettuce. The lettuce is growing like an abundant amount, and we've tried it. We haven't done like sold any of it or like tried anything with sharing it with other people, but we've personally tried it and given it to some teachers, and it's very good. It's like very fresh and tastes very good.
So to address the first part of her question, though, isn't it true that you guys purchased these? These have not been in your school. You all were part of the initial securing the grant funds, and you guys led the way in that that particular grant. Didn't you have the highest grant amount?
We're the second highest grant.
The additional money was for other legacy projects that are going on, right?
Yes.
So this is just one of the projects that were funded with that $11,000.
That's awesome. This is really neat. And I think too, you're kind of already talking about it, but this is like a nice way to share sort of gardening tips and tricks with people who might not be as familiar with some of this stuff. So it's sort of a multi-purpose project that you're doing. I think it's really neat.
So one of the things that the students had to do was they came in, and the order came in probably, I don't know, 50 boxes. And I stood back and said, okay, you guys need to build them. So not only did they plan it, get approval, get the money, they built them themselves, they installed them themselves, and they've been maintaining them. So to answer the question of how long have they had them, they didn't even arrive into the school until after winter break. And then they had to take some time to build them. And they've actually, right before spring break, they actually started the seedlings. Dom, do you want to show the rock wool and the nuts?
Yeah, so essentially we have to put the seed inside this thing called the rock wool. And so the rock wool will sit in there for a little bit. And then once it's ready, you place it in this plastic kind of cup looking thing, like just like this. And then you place it in the tower garden. We can show you once we go and show them the gardens, but you'll see it in there, and then the seed will start to grow and it'll come out of here.
Are those rock walls, are those rock wool, I guess, are those reusable?
They are not.
Okay.
So they kept their seedlings for about 3-ish weeks in the rock wool under lights, where they kept maintaining them and growing them over break. And then they placed them in the gardens. And the gardens, as soon as the halls clear out, they would like to take the computer and take you on a little field trip to see the towers. They're going to show you how they maintain, check for pH levels, how they actually harvest the lettuce. You guys will see some cucumbers that have flowers on them now. So the next step will be pollinating, so that we can actually get some cucumbers. But yeah, what other questions though can we answer for you guys right now before we take you on a field trip?
Okay, well, I have a question, and then I have a little tech direction. First thing, when you take us out to see things, just be mindful of spinning us around, because it makes it really difficult for the computer camera to focus on what you're looking at. So kind of move your Chromebook slowly, and also be mindful that if you lose us on network, try to get us back. And my question is this: what kinds of, as you guys went through this whole process with securing the grant funds and getting everything delivered and getting everything built and learning how to set it up and then pushing yourself to try to maybe set up experiments with the plants, what kinds of roadblocks, logistical roadblocks, what kind of roadblocks were thrown in your way that you guys had to overcome throughout the whole process?
Go ahead.
The seed money grant was a struggle at first. We had to be first place for a long time. We were in first and we were competing with them for a long time. We ended up getting second, which is still pretty awesome, but our competition with that was very strong. But we're still pretty proud of ourselves for raising that much money. It started out.
Another struggle was like to start building the gardens. It was kind of hard to like learn of working with different tools and like figuring out like what supposed to go where and like following directions and like figuring out how we can work together to make these our gardens. Go ahead, Lauren.
Another one would be the lights are super bright on, and some people in guidance didn't like it and find it occasionally hard because we have to readjust to the tower gardens needs and other ones.
So you had to deal with people that had to actually exist with tower gardens in their workplace and they weren't very happy about it. Okay. Did you have support from the rest of your teaching staff and your administration?
Absolutely. There's a lot of people still interested in them. Even yesterday, we were just going to check on them and checking our pH level with them, and there was a substitute in the clinic. She was super interested in them, so we had to explain to her. So people are still super supportive of them. Now they're super bright.
How do you think your project has impacted the rest of the student body?
I mean, a lot of my peers that I've talked to about them have been wondering about them, have been super curious. We've even let a lot of our fellow students try some of the foods we've grown so far, and they all love it.
Okay.
I have a question. The rock wool that you were showing a few minutes ago, what is that actually made out of?
We're not exactly sure. The Tower Garden Company provided it for us. I think it's just, it kind of feels like almost a cottony kind of texture. It just supports the seed almost like soil would, I guess.
Okay. I'm wondering if alpaca fur might be used to make those.
Yeah, I have access to lots of alpaca fiber if you want to try different things.
Alpaca fiber, that could actually be a way that she has an alpaca farm.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, guys, so is your hallway clear? Can you take us on a little trip?
I think it's clear. Let's check.
Okay, just remember, don't spin us around so much.
Grab your pH kit. Here's this. I'll take the computer.
Don't spin them too fast.
Okay.
Stay there.
You still with us, Allison? Okay.
All right, we're going on our field trip.
Okay.
Are there any questions that I can answer for you guys right now as we're walking?
Yes.
The kids did a great job.
I just sent you an email for the Columbus Zoo Eco Summit. And I was at it this past year with Westerville kids. And I may have even sent you pictures when I was there saying, why aren't you here? Because it would be perfect. And it's this year they've upped the ante. Oop, you froze.
Into the guidance office right now. This is the tower. They'll explain to you this.
It's like her network's going in and out. That's what I was afraid of.
Okay, so I'm thinking that if we're doing this with other teachers.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there's a little flower right there for the cucumber.
So the water, all you have access to is that small little hole there. Okay, and they're testing the pH right now. Oh, you guys will be able to hear it's on a timer.
So the water just turned on. And we're going to fill this little cup thing to 5 milliliters. And then we're going to put the hydrogen test in the tube. And we do 5 drops. And then we see how much like the pH is. So they give us this little paper that has the colors, and then we match the color up with what the pH level is in the tank. So right now it's 6.0, and that's what we want it to be at. We want it to be at like 6.0 or 6.5. So this pH level in this tower is really good. Then do you want us to show them how we cut the lettuce?
So they did half of the tower with cucumber down here. They have the cage. These are the lights here. And then we have gourmet lettuce in the middle. We'll show you guys some of the starts that we have to fill the other holes. So what they're going to do now is show you guys how they harvest.
So when we harvest, we just take a little pair of scissors, and you don't want to cut exactly at the end of it. So you cut about halfway through, just like this. And we'll go ahead and put it in our bag, and we normally wash it, but you can still eat it if it's not washed. So we'll harvest for a while until about halfway through. So you want to leave some full leaves still, and then you can harvest half of the other ones that you haven't left behind.
So this tower that you guys are looking at, once they decided that they needed the tower tonic, they added it to it. So I'm going to step back so you guys can see what it looks like right now. I'm going to walk them down to the other tower to compare it. So as a comparison, can you guys see the growth on this one?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so I'm turning you. We're going to go for a walk to our other office.
Seems like she freezes when she goes in the hallway.
So the second office that we're taking you to right now is the comparison to the guidance office. This one has the exact same number of plants, same type of plants, same lights and water flow, but had tonic from the beginning. And hopefully you'll be able to see that there are some different turning.
I'm thinking when she gets back into an office room, we might be able to pick her back up on the network.
I'm guessing it's a bandwidth issue, right?
Yeah, she's got no bandwidth in the. Oh, we lost her. Okay. Oh, she's trying to come back on. There she is.
Okay, so were you able to get all of that from this tower itself?
We lost you when you were walking in the hall, and we saw the first tower. We have not seen you back away from that tower so that we could compare the growth.
So you can see here the lettuce is much more fuller. We have huge leaves.
Yeah.
Every single pod has tons and tons of healthy lettuce growing. The cucumbers here, you can see there are quite a few blossoms. What they're going to have to do now is self-pollinate. I'm going to have Riley hold this, and I'm just going to turn the lights on off the timer so that you guys can actually see how bright they are. You want to back up a little bit? So now the lights, they're on the inside of the fixture facing in, but you can see that they do produce quite a bit of light. Questions on this one?
What's the process for pollinating? How do you pollinate the plants?
So they haven't done it yet, but they're going to be figuring out male and female plants and then just a simple paintbrush or a toothpick, and they're going to actually self-pollinate them.
Very cool.
We didn't have any of the blossoms, excuse me, last week. So these are new from over the weekend, and the actual them growing along the side of the towers and up the cage is new this week also. Do you guys want to see the last tower?
Yeah, but can you point down to the bottom of that tower?
Down here?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, now take us to the next tower, but remember, you tend to lose us when you're in the hallway.
Okay. Hold that. Let me turn the lights off. We walk up.
Yeah. I know you're welcome. He's so jacked on.
These are, I picked the winter ones.
All right, so we are in the attendance office. The attendance office now is in the front of the building getting a lot of light, and it's much warmer. So this tower Can you guys hear us?
Yeah, you came back.
Okay.
So this one has been giving us a lot of problems because, as you can see, with all the sunlight coming in with all these windows, and it's right in the corner, a lot of like the bok choy is dead. It's dead now. It wasn't dead before. It's dead.
The regula is dying too.
But we're learning like different growing seasons with these. The bok choy and the arugula. That's it right this time? Awesome. Okay. So these are more like cooler, like 60 degree, but with this sunlight coming in and hitting these plants and everything else, even these windows are just warm to the touch right now. It's making it a warmer environment, warmer than it has to be with these and the lights going on at night. So it's getting a lot of sunlight. But at the same time, we can't turn them off because we have right here, it's not getting any sunlight from these windows. So we're trying to figure that out, but we might have to move locations if this continues, especially with these less sunlight type plants. But the lettuce is doing good, so yeah.
So there's no way to turn on some of the lights. They're either all on or all off.
That's what I've found. Yeah.
I'm wondering, I don't know if this is possible, but I'm sort of picturing like a lazy Susan, something underneath the whole tower. I don't know if that would be possible to create where you can actually rotate the tower itself.
We have ones like that, but it's not doing as much, especially with all these cords right here. So with all these cords here, it has to be connected to this power strip over here. So if we keep turning it, it's just gonna get twisted and we're gonna be stuck.
So on this garden, they actually planted quite a few different things. So you want to explain each of your levels?
Now the first one right here, we have cucumber, just like that first one. Cherry red cherry tomatoes.
We have the cherry lettuce.
Yep.
And this one's bib lettuce, and bok choy, arugula, and the rainbow chard.
So you guys altered the water flow on this one.
Yeah, we had to, because it didn't see, we were trying to fix it without having to worry too much about the sunlight, but it's doing a little bit, and we had a little bit of problems with the pH, which we're fixing now.
So this tower is on the way the outdoor towers are supposed to be. Like if you were to put this outside, it's every 15 minutes on and then 15 minutes off, 15 minutes on, 15 minutes off. And it seems to be doing much better. We didn't have such success even last week on the lettuce, and the tomatoes are growing well. So bok choy and arugula are difficult for us right now. The rainbow chard is actually doing much better too. Do you want to show them your books that you guys made?
Other people in the group made these books, and they explain what it is and everything else. I don't know.
Yeah, why we want them, where they grow, what are the possibilities, goals, and which we went over in the presentation is cost and how we paid for this.
So that way they don't have to ask people in the offices what exactly it is and everything else. So they can just point to this binder and they can flip through it a little bit.
Okay, so what other questions do you guys have?
How did you choose what to grow, and did you have to be thoughtful that the plants that you picked for each tower would grow well together?
Okay, so when we first made this, we didn't know how long it would take to grow from seed to seedling to tower garden plants. So we chose more of cooler weather plants because when we had them as seedlings even, it was still snowing. But now, see how it's already super sunny and it's like hot right now. So all these cooler plants we had picked are dying because of it. So we have to, now that we know how long these take, we have to take that in mind when we pick out what plants to use.
And then Riley is one who was working on the two towers that they did the experiment, the comparison experiment.
So when we picked the two plants, we just wanted to, since we were just doing an experiment, we wanted to figure out which ones would give us like the fastest results so we could like get our tower gardens going. So cucumbers and lettuce had like the fastest germination process. So that's why we picked those two. But then when we we started to grow more seedlings already for like filling the holes for the other tower garden, for the other towers. And like each level, it like recommends certain plants that you should put like on the bottom level and then the middle and then the highest level for like the best results. So like on the bottom, for example, you put like your viney plants like cucumber and then lettuce kind of in the middle.
And if you guys are ready, we'll take you on one more field trip down to where we have the seedlings growing for right now. Is that good? Thumbs up if you're ready for a walk. Okay, hopefully we won't lose you. All right, so we're heading back out.
That's okay.
We're almost done. One more field trip. All right, so we're heading down. Hopefully we don't lose you. So my children following. I can't hear you guys out here. It's too loud because of lunch right now. But hold those questions for 1 second, please. That we ran into was having enough plant carts and plant lights to start everything. So I'm going to flip you guys around. We have lots of projects going on right now, but up here in the top, we have how you start the rock wool cubes. And these were started about a week and a half ago, and these will be placed up into the holes in the gardens that aren't full right now. So you can see we have lots of things rigged up here. Angie mentioned other legacy projects. We have other legacy projects with these flowers. Hoop houses are being installed right now. An irrigation system outside is being installed. As we walk down the hall, I can show you guys the recycling stations that are being built. And then we have an outdoor garden, which we're growing plants for as well. So we'll head back to the class for Okay, so we'll make a pit stop. Here is the recycling station that the students built. They designed it. It's going to, we're not going to open it because kids threw trash in there. It's embarrassing right now because there's back is going to be landfill. And so they're finalizing those. They're building another 3 for our cafeteria. So we'll be back in our room in 20 seconds, and then you guys can ask your final questions. Did we lose you?
You're back now. You lost us a little bit.
Okay, so we're back in the room. I've lost a few children along the way. A few of my little ducklings got sidetracked. So I'm going to leave you with the few that I have here. I'm going to go find my other children, and feel free to ask them questions. There's about half of them missing.
I have a question. Did you guys look at any other types of hydroponic systems besides just the towers?
Not really, but in the back of our room over here, we have an aquaponic system, which at the top we like grow plants, which is like kind of a similar concept. And there's like fish in the bottom, and the water like cycles through. But we didn't look at other like options for a tower garden.
We have a bunch of a whole hydroponics area here in Westerville. I'm at Westerville North, and so I'm familiar with the whole process and everything, but most of ours, I'm not really involved with it too much, but I've seen a lot of different styles and designs, whether it's in a tower, whether we have one that sort of spirals up. I just wondered how you got to the tower part and chose that structure versus another shape.
We had heard about it a little bit through Dulin-Smith had actually brought it up, how one of them, she had heard about it. And we looked into it and we thought this was actually a really good idea. And we decided with the system that it was using, especially the irrigation system, it seemed with good reviews and everything else that it was a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys seniors, juniors? What grade are you in?
Yeah, so most of us are juniors or seniors. It's kind of a mixed class.
Have you considered anything in the environmental science arena as a possible field of study for yourself?
I think the answer there would be no. You're afraid to say it.
Okay.
Well, I'm impressed. You guys have done a very nice job. I'm glad that we were able to do this, to be able to see. Because your teacher, I was in Westerville, and she even said, "Oh, can you come out and watch us when you guys did them before?" And I couldn't. So when somebody said, "Hey, what if we do a Google Hangout?" I'm glad we got to try this out. Thank you for being the guinea pigs for us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Any final questions?
All right, so this concludes our first official Greatest of the Great Google Hangout with Miss Dulin-Smith's Legacy Projects at Dublin-Jerome. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.